I want to talk to you guys today about a common theme that I've found in my relationship and just looking at other people's relationships. And that is the idea of masculine frame. If you're in a relationship with a woman, you have to understand that she is a woman. Men are logical more naturally and more in touch with the reasoning side of their brain and the reasoning side of life and the rational. And women are more in touch with the feminine, which is unconscious or subconscious, emotions, feelings, sensations. These are both valid viewpoints and dynamics in the world, and they don't contradict each other necessarily, they complement each other. But if your job as a man to not try and force her to become more logical than you, don't try to make your woman into a man. The second you realize this and you stop trying to change her and force her into something she's not, your relationship will change. For example, if she is arguing with you or kind of nagging you or being what you would deem as unnecessarily emotional about a certain topic that isn't that much of a big deal from your logical state of brain, it may or may not be a big deal at all. And you may be right. But understand that the context of what a woman may complain to you about or reflect to you about isn't necessarily about the context itself, but it's about the underlying reflection back to you of your internal state and your internal control of your emotions. Because if you react to her being emotional with your own emotional reaction, then you failed the test. A woman will never test you consciously. She will test you unconsciously and subconsciously and will feel you out without her even knowing, but just intuitively knowing that something is off within her. She will act this out in a subconscious way, you could say, which again is not a bad thing. It's what a woman does, and it's for their own good and for your own good. She will act out that way and see how you react. Are you gonna lose yourself, lose your cool, throw a fit? Are you gonna be overwhelmed when her emotions start to overwhelm you? Or are you going to be calm, collected, balanced, fair, stern, reassuring? This is your test as a man. And the only way that you can do that, actually, is to be in touch with your emotional state, to be in touch with the sensations through your body when you're aggravated. A good example is when you're sitting in traffic, feeling that, noticing that you're angry, noticing that you're driving more aggressive. That's always a good practice to take a moment to breathe, get in touch with your emotions, get in touch with a thought loop that's in your head, and how crazy and irrational it can get, road rage, right? And trying to calm that down. Taking a step back from a very masculine framed point of view, a very logical, direct, no-nonsense point of view. So being in touch with your emotions as a man is actually very important. Being in touch with the wounded boy within, healing those traumas, understanding what they are and how they act out. That is a true test as a man of who you are. And so developing a keen sense of emotional intelligence helps you as a man actually become more in touch with masculinity. And your woman will pick up on that. And she will see you as her true leader. Remember, women are creatures of the emotional body, the sensations of life, the unconscious, the deep ocean with waves that crash and are violent sometimes, and that at times are also just very still and calm. And there's no predicting the way the weather patterns will change and affect the weather and affect the water. But it's your job as the captain of the ship above that water to always stay on course regardless of what's happening. And so you need to understand the weather patterns. You need to understand when the stars are aligned a certain way, how that's going to affect the tides and how you're going to navigate that and how you're going to deal with those situations. And so become familiar with your inner storm, with your inner emotional dynamic, because we are men and we're still human and we still have emotions too. And so becoming in touch with that helps us to navigate when our woman is being overly emotional. And again, we don't get upset with her for that. We don't blame her for being a woman, and we don't put her down and invalidate her for being a woman. We respect and honor that. And to just be fair, yes, at a certain point, if a woman is giving you too much trouble in a relationship and you genuinely feel like she's being unreasonable, have a conversation with her. And if it's still not working out, or you've had this communication, this open dialogue where you're not putting her down, you're expressing yourself and how you're feeling and how it's affecting your emotions from a very calm, masculine frame way. Either she will respect that and start to reflect back to you more respect and more control, or she won't. And if that's the case, then you should reevaluate being in that relationship with her. But it always starts with your radical responsibility. It always starts with you, because being in a relationship with a woman is a constant reflection of your inner state. And so getting in touch with that first is the most important thing in order for your relationship to be successful. So always start with you. Never deflect blame. Always start with yourself first and how you can be a better man, and exhaust those possibilities. And if you have in good faith done that, and your relationship still is causing more burden and stress on your psychological state of being rather than uplifting, then reevaluate that relationship. If you guys found these tips and resonate with this message, leave me a comment below and let me know how you feel. And if you disagree, please post a comment as well so we can talk about it. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And if you like these videos, you can subscribe for more. This channel is all about men's work, finding confidence in who you are from a very spiritual lens, a deep embodiment lens, a community lens. We are living in a time where we are more disconnected, both men and women, more than ever, with the rise of technology and how social media has actually failed to bring us together in many ways. With that isolation, it is more important than ever that we as men cultivate inner awareness, community, and strength as men together. And that includes emotional vulnerability. And that includes doing some feminine work. That includes emotional intelligence. And so that's what this channel is all about. And I hope that you guys found value in it. And please stick around for more content coming soon. Thank you.